So I want to welcome you to the Rebuild Carousel House relaunch. Thanks for coming out tonight and joining us. Um, my name is Donna Griffin. I am a Black woman. I'm tall. I wear glasses and have curly brown hair. All right, I want to welcome those folks who are joining us through the internet. We will be streaming this meeting tonight. So just want to let you all know. All right, so we're going to get started and let me just kind of share with you what the expectations are tonight. We're going to move through an agenda that should take us maybe a little bit less than an hour. Okay, and then we'll have a brief one-on-one Q&A and maybe give our audience a chance to ask a couple of questions. So next slide. Awesome. So what you can expect tonight is number one, you'll meet the design team. There's a whole team of us that are working on this project. So you'll meet the team. You'll hear from the Philadelphia Parks and Recreation Commissioner Slauson. And then we're going to kind of just reintroduce you to the Rebuild Carousel House project. All right, some of you have been with us before, some of you have not. So we just want to level the playing ground, so to speak. And then we're going to move into kind of what we've heard through the last several engagements with the community. And we will take a look at the design of the indoor spaces for the Carousel House. We'll also look at the outdoor areas. And percent of art is here. There is an opportunity for art at the Carousel House. And so you'll have a chance to see what those options are. And then we'll move to next steps. We'll have a little bit of Q&A, as I said, maybe a couple of questions. And then we really want to give you a chance to get up close and personal with the design team. Okay, so you'll see some boards around the room. If you've been with us before, you're kind of used to how we offer an opportunity for you to provide some feedback to the team, but also have your questions answered. Sound good? So how about a few housekeeping things? I do want to, next slide. I do want to ask, number one, that you keep your cell phones on silent. You can certainly take a call, that's fine. We would just ask that you step to the front of the building and take the call. We also want to let you know that the bathrooms are close to the sign-up table to my left. So if you turn around, they're going to be on the left side, both the ladies' and men's room. As well, we want to ask you to please, 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 please complete the sign-in sheet. Completing those sheets gives us an opportunity to stay in touch with you and keep you informed of our meetings, but also provide progress updates for the Carousel House project. All right, so if you haven't signed in yet, please feel welcome to at some point go back to the sign-in table or check-in table and just complete the form. Thank you in advance. And I do want to let you know that we have Julie and Susan, who are our interpreters. They're back with us tonight. They've joined us, I think, for all of our community or public engagements for Carousel House. So they're back. And so welcome them, please. All right, we ready to get into the agenda? Excellent. All right, well, I am going to welcome Commissioner Sue Slauson to the podium. Commissioner Slauson is with Philadelphia Parks and Rec.
Good evening. I am an African-American female. I wear glasses. I am 5'4.25". Yes, I tell my husband that I'm 6 feet tall. He's 6'3", so it's a little challenge there. I have been a part of Parks and Recreation now my second time around, March of 2024. I'm super excited to be back. I'm super excited to be working with the team that I work with. Aparna Palantino, who is responsible for this amazing project that you're going to be seeing tonight. I'm here to answer any questions that you may have. You may want to wait until after the actual showing of the facility. It's absolutely gorgeous. I do have some staff members here in the audience. Anne-Marie Dunn, who is one of the deputy commissioners for programs. Leanne Campbell, who is the deputy commissioner for planning, preservation, and it's a whole long title that I'm not going to complete. And so I'm happy, and I am really excited that we're going to start this project. When the Carousel House was up and running, I would go and volunteer for when we had the bingo night, when we were a part of the basketball tournaments that were held. I was always there. So for us to be back in a place where we're going to be doing the work so we can welcome all of you in the Parkside community back into the Carousel House, I'm excited to be a part of it. So I'll be here. I'll be here for questions later after you see the presentations. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Slauson. Good evening, everyone. My name is Aparna Palantino, and I am shorter than Commissioner Slauson at 5'3". I'm Indian and I have black curly hair, and my pronouns are she and her. And more than anything, I'm excited to be here tonight with all of you and excited to share with you the progress made on this project, because seeing this room full of people, I can tell, just how anxious you are to have that facility back, just how important it is to not just this community adjacent to the Carousel House, but across the city. So I am very, very pleased to be here tonight. For those of you who may not have heard about the Capital Program Office, we are a new office created under Mayor Sherelle Parker, and with the goal of centralizing design and construction projects for various city agencies. We do projects for police, fire, health, prisons, and also parks and recreation and rebuild. The Carousel House project, after the facility closed in 2021, became a rebuild project. It needed significant investment to be able to restore it. And we are happy to be here today to continue our commitment in delivering this facility back to you. Rebuild, as you know, was started under the former Mayor Kenny, and it's about a $500 million investment in cities, parks, rec centers, and libraries, all with the goal of making the city a safer, cleaner, greener space for all residents with economic opportunity for all. Before I go to our next slide and talk about the project, I'd just like to thank many people, not just a few. First and foremost, Commissioner Slauson at Parks and Recreation, who's been such a wonderful partner in this effort on this project and every project we work on. My team at the Capital Program Office, as well as the design team that we are working with on this project. Your district council member, Councilmember Jones. I know we have a representative from his office today here with us. Hi, Gail. Also, Councilmember Gautier, Jamie Gautier, whose district abuts this, right on the other side of Parkside. I'd also like to thank state elected officials, State Representative Ronnie Green and Senator Vincent Hughes for their assistance in helping us to apply for and secure a lot of state funding that was critical in making this project move forward. I'd also like to thank the William Penn Foundation, without whose support Rebuild itself would not have been possible. And most importantly, I'd like to thank the Carousel House community and all of you that will be using this facility for your support, for your patience, for sticking it out with us. We promise we have not, there has been activity behind the scenes. We have a lot of good news to share tonight, so I am incredibly excited to begin with the next slide in the presentation. I'm not sure which way. So the slide here shows the footprint of the existing Carousel House, the building and the site. The footprint itself will not be expanding. We're building and making improvements on the existing site. The total value of the project, of the new project, will be $44 million. Something that's very special is this is the largest investment that Rebuild is making in any site across the city. Please don't tell other people that. We are very proud to say that all of the former Carousel House programming will be available in the new facility. And not only will the former programming be available, we will have the opportunity for a lot more programming. We have a significantly expanded footprint. We are more than doubling the size of the facility. I know Parks and Rec may not be thrilled with me because that means they have a lot more to maintain, but it will be an amazing space. And the design team will go through details on what we're adding in all of that expanded footprint. One of our top priorities, we understand that the Carousel House has a very significant legacy, a very powerful legacy, and it was important to retain that in the new design. We also know that it's a very unique building. It has a very specific historic character almost to the shape of the building. So as we go through the presentation, you'll see what we did to retain some of those elements. But we also know, we are in the 21st century and we want to provide a building to the entire community here and users that brings it to the 21st century and provides a modern space, an accessible, fully accessible space the residents can take pride in, that all folks can use. The design presented today will showcase not only, again, the existing footprint that the existing structure, which the design team will explain how we've maintained, but we'll go into depth about the two major additions to the facility. We will have a brand new gymnasium. I know wheelchair basketball was a very popular sport at the former facility, and we will have an even better pool, a zero entry accessible pool. So we are incredibly thrilled and looking forward to sharing that with you. If we could please advance to the next slide. I know this is a point of pain for many people, the timeline associated with this project. I know this project started in 2021. There was extensive community engagement over the course of the next 2 years. It was important to do that. We needed to hear from a lot of people, a lot of different voices, and we wanted to take the time to do that correctly. After that, the design team presented a concept Oh, sorry. Is that better? Maybe I need to low. Is that good? Okay. Thank you. I hope you were able to get most of that, and I apologize. Please don't hesitate. If anyone is having trouble hearing me, please let me know. Great. Thank you. So we were talking about the timeline for the facility. Again, we began in 2021. There was extensive community engagement done to get feedback on what types of programs, what were the critical needs of the facility. We got through concept design. I know we presented sort of a bubble diagram, if you will, of all the things that the new facility would incorporate. And then I think around that time, after we shared that with the community, we realized that in order to incorporate everything that folks had asked for, we needed a little bit more money. The estimate at that point in time was in the range of 35 million. The construction estimate, we realized we were going to need close to an additional 40 million instead to be able to incorporate all those wonderful amenities that we wanted to include in this facility. So we took a pause because taking amenities away or value engineering this facility to take away, a portion of the pool or reduce the size of the gymnasium would have been a disservice to folks who were expecting this to be something that, isn't available anywhere else in the city. So we beg forgiveness for taking the time, but we are happy to say we did find that additional funding. That's what we were doing. We were also spending that time to do some additional research around utilities here, stormwater. It's located, as all of you or many of you know, the Carousel House is in a very unique historic district, the Centennial District. So there is a higher level of archaeology research that has to be done. There are very specific requirements. There's environmental research. A lot of that is also because of the type of funding we're secured. Each type of grant comes with its own set of requirements. But we need the money, so we take those challenges on. And we have been doing that behind the scenes. Today, as you'll see shortly, the result of all of that is this amazing space that will provide so many more opportunities than the former one did. Before I turn it over to the design team, I'm sorry. I neglected to say that we are in design. We have been working. The project design will conclude around summer of 2026, and you'll start seeing construction activity on site next year with the goal of being complete by summer of 2028. I'd like to just, before I turn it over to the design team, do a quick round of introductions of the various teams that are participating in this project. It's a lot of people. But we are grateful to each and every one of them for their part in this process in delivering this critical, important project to you. I'd like to thank my team from the Capital Program Office, Angie Castro, Pedro Pinto, Testoni, Heather McLean, Lloyd Salasandine, Salam Bustanji. That's our team. If I missed you, I apologize. Another team whose participation none of this would have been possible, the design team of Digsaw, Jules Dingle, Ryan Drummond, Adria Longendorfer, Caitlin Feroce, Simon Wang, Demario Walker-Brown. Our design partners, Studio Pacifica. Thank you, Karen Breitmeyer, Joyce Klontz, Kay Wheeler. And I would also like to thank Donna and her team at Community Capacity Builders. We have Donna Griffin, Jenny Chen, Meg Lemure, Marangeli, Maya Rabel. And I neglected to include our landscape architects, Julie Bush, Keena Miles, and Kristen Lowry. With that, I will turn it over to Ground Reconsidered. Is that correct? No, sorry. Our slides are having a little issue. Sorry. Jenny from Community Capacity Builders.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jenny Chen. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm an Asian American woman with long black hair. Like Aparna mentioned, I'm here tonight with Community Capacity Builders, or CCB, and we've been lucky enough to get to support community engagement on this project, and it's awesome to see so many familiar faces in the audience tonight. Before we share the proposed designs for the new building and outdoor areas, I'm just going to talk a little bit about our engagement work and what we've heard. So this process, as many of you may remember, started back in late 2021 with a meet and greet. We then shared some initial ideas for the indoor spaces during the kickoff design workshop in 2022. During that spring and fall, we learned about the ways that community members want to see the history and culture of the former Carousel House, as well as the Parkside communities, celebrated in the new facility. We brought you all back together in March of 2023 with a more refined building plan that we workshopped together with you all. We also meant to talk about the public art that will be part of the project, and you'll hear more about that tonight. And most recently, we hosted a virtual meeting where we asked you all what you want to see in the outdoor areas. So this project has involved a diversity of different stakeholders, many of whom are in the room with us tonight. So if you identify with one or more of these groups, please feel free to raise your hand or give a little silent applause so we know who's in the room when I give you a shout out. So do we have any folks from the Carousel House community? That's staff, advisory council, participants, past and future, or activity leaders? Amazing. How about any disability service providers, advocates in the room? All right, and what about our neighborhood residents and leaders from East Parkside, West Parkside, Winfield, Belmont? Yes. And finally, let's say hi to our local electeds and other city officials and city staff members who are here. Yes, all right. So thank you all for being here tonight and for sticking with us through this journey. Throughout this process, we've been hearing hundreds of comments from you all and others. And I'm really excited to pass the mic now to Jules from the design team to talk about how all of your amazing ideas and feedback have shaped the current design.
Thank you. My name is Jules Dingle. I'm a 6-foot, white, gray-haired male. I use he, him pronouns. And I'm really excited to be back with you all tonight. It feels like too long, but we're really excited to be back in this room, reintroducing this project and most importantly, having a breakout session after this where we can get into more detail than us just talking to you. But to start, we want to give a bit of a recap of where we left the design and where we're headed. So the next slide will summarize some of what Aparna mentioned, and that at a high level, this project is a renovation of the existing circular Carousel House building with 3 additions. And the idea to preserve the Carousel House was certainly a recognition of the economic and environmental value of reusing what was already there, but also from the stories that we've heard from you all, a recognition of the cultural value of this facility and how meaningful this place is both historically and functionally to this community. So that was the case for really preserving, modernizing, and expanding the existing Carousel House. The next slide is one that may look familiar to some of you. This is from March of 2023, the bubble diagram that Aparna mentioned. And it explains in a little more detail what I just described. So the circle is a renovated Carousel House with program that we're going to talk about in more detail in a moment. And then the 3 additions working clockwise from the big yellow rectangle around the circle. The first addition is a 2-court gymnasium. So the current Carousel house has one basketball court. This will be 2 courts, something similar in size to the gym at the High School of the Future. Working clockwise, you'll see in blue the large lap pool and activity pool. And then swinging down to about 5 o'clock on the circle will be a new entrance canopy and a reoriented entrance toward the Parkside neighborhood. The next slide shows the same thing, but a current snapshot of where we are today. And what you'll see is many times more little gray lines, which start to indicate the progress that we're making in developing the next level of detail, which Adria is going to talk about in just a moment. And my last slide before I hand it off to Adria, who will take us through each of the spaces, is an acknowledgement that the existing Carousel house, as you all know, was really a vanguard of accessibility in the late 80s, predating the American with Disabilities Act. It was well ahead of its time. I think it's the ambition of all of us today to be the vanguard for the next 20, 30 years and exceed the code and what the code tells us accessibility should look like, and really look to the future and try to imagine what will hopefully be the things that we just come to expect in the future. There's a list here, but as Adria walks us through the spaces, she's going to point out the accessibility features in each of those spaces.
Thanks, Jules. Hi, everyone. My name is Adria Longendorfer. I use she, her pronouns. I am a white woman with blonde hair, and I'm wearing a dark shirt and glasses this evening. As Jules mentioned, I'm going to give a little more information about what you can expect in the new facility and give a virtual tour, if you will, of all of the rooms that will be in the new building. Each of the slides that I'll be talking over will show a square footage of each of the rooms. As our team continues to work through the design, the final size of all of the rooms may change slightly from what you see this evening, but we wanted to share where we are with the current square footages so you have a rough idea of how big the spaces will likely be. What you see here on screen is a plan and a 3D view of the first rooms that you'll see when you enter the new building. The main entry doors and vestibule are where the blue star are in the lower right corner of the plan. That vestibule will have motion activated doors and a bench so that there's an area inside to wait for those who are about to be picked up by CCT or a caregiver. Once you pass through those doors, you'll enter into the main gathering atrium, which is the yellow area on the plan. This is one of the key adaptive reuse spaces that our team is most excited about. We're reusing the spacious light-filled room where the gymnasium in the existing facility was and turning it into a multi-purpose gathering space that can be used for a wide range of activities and groups. The 3D view on the right shows what the room will look like on a day-to-day basis with a mix of built-in benches, movable tables and chairs, and games. On the right side of the view, you'll see that we plan to reuse the carousel horse from the old facility as a way to celebrate the rich history of the carousel house and be a fun and welcoming gesture at the front of the building. At the far end of the gathering atrium is the reception desk next to the staff office. These are the rooms in green. They're located in a central spot in the building so that the rec leader and staff have clear visibility into as much of the rec center as possible. The reception desk will be designed with multiple height counters so it's welcoming and usable by all. Next slide. Where the last slide showed the day-to-day setup of the atrium for gathering and informal play, this slide shows how flexible this space can be for large community events, performances, or meetings. The plan on the left shows how different furniture can be arranged for special events like a banquet or a speaker event. For these events, the day-to-day furniture will temporarily be moved to a different room so that new furniture appropriate for the event can be brought in. The view on the right shows how the atrium will look during a speaker event with rows of chairs and spaces for wheelchairs. Next slide. The new basketball gym will have 2 full-size basketball courts, 2 volleyball courts, and a walking and mobility loop around the perimeter of the room. This will be a path that's marked on the floor that can be used for indoor exercise and will be wide enough for a range of mobility devices, including power and sports wheelchairs. Between the 2 basketball courts will be a divider curtain to allow for simultaneous usage by different groups. And at the far ends of the gym will be retractable bleachers for spectator seating. Each bleacher will accommodate 8 wheelchair spaces along the front row for a total of 16 accessible seat locations in the gym. Next slide. The new pool area will have 2 separate pools. The bottom one, which is closer to the entry, is the activity pool that will be 0 entry and have a maximum depth of 4.5 feet. This pool will be heated and will include interactive play equipment to support therapy activities. The pool farther from the main entry is the lap pool, which will go from 4 to 8 feet deep. It will also be heated and will be available for exercise and lifeguard training. For safety, there will be a barrier between the 2 pools to help control access to the deeper lap pool. Both pools will have lifeguard stands and lifts for chair transfer in and out. And the deck around the pools will have ample space for wheelchairs, seating, and circulation. There will also be a wet classroom, which will be used for lifeguard training and is where family and caregivers can wait and watch what's happening within the main pool area. Next slide. This slide covers all the restrooms, shower rooms, and locker rooms in the new building. We don't have a plan on the screen for these rooms, but for those of you with printouts of the overall building plan, these are all the rooms in the dark gray color. Outside the new gym will be a men's and women's bathroom, each with multiple stalls and sinks, as well as a gender-neutral bathroom, which will include a toilet, sink, and an adult changing table. In the pool area, there will be 2 gender-neutral shower rooms, each with a toilet, sink, roll-in shower, and an adult changing table. Also in the pool area will be direct access to the men's and women's locker rooms. Those will include an area with toilets and sinks, an area with both roll-in and transfer type showers, and a changing area with backed benches and lockers of varying heights to store personal items when using the pools. There is also 1 gender-neutral bathroom near the main entry and fitness room, which will have a sink, a toilet, and an adult changing table. Next slide. This is the arts and ceramics room, which will be sized to fit 12 to 20 people. While its primary use will be for different art programs, it can also be used as a meeting room if needed. It will have new windows, which will give beautiful views of many of the trees outside and Fairmont Park beyond. There will be tables and chairs in the middle of the room and lots of storage for different types of art programs along the walls. On the left side of the plan are cubbies near the entry door. And on the top of the plan is where the sink will be, with a large countertop and cabinets, drawers, and shelving above and below. The kiln from the existing facility will be reused and will be in its own room so that it's in a safe location off the main art space. The fitness room will have a variety of equipment arranged with plenty of clearance space around each machine for ease of use. The current plan includes an adaptive universal machine, an adaptive rowing machine, hand bikes, a stationary bike, a treadmill, a stair climber, a bench press, a transfer bench, free weights, and a mat area. The room will also have a drinking fountain and a bottle filler for your mid-workout break, mirrors on the wall, and cubbies to store personal items while exercising. This is one of our favorite rooms because it will get a ton of natural light coming through a large window and skylights above. The kitchen will be located between the gym and the atrium for easy access when larger events are occurring. It will have a mix of residential and commercial appliances, primarily for use by staff for after-school and summer camp lunches, event catering, and event concessions. Concessions and snacks will be sold from a roll-up window similar to the one shown in the picture on the right. Next slide. The Techer computer room will have 10 computer stations with adaptive equipment like adjustable height desks and other assistive technology. The room will be for open use as well as computer-based classes. Next to the computer room will be one of 2 sensory rooms in the building. The other sensory room, which is not shown on this plan, is located near the staff office and is similar in size to the one shown here. Both sensory rooms are located in a quiet part of the building and will be designed for both sensory seeking and sensory avoiding experiences. The sensory rooms will have soft furnishings, dimmable lights, and other sensory equipment and amenities. And then our final stop on the building tour, the multi-purpose rooms. These can be used as classrooms, meeting rooms, or spaces for new community-based programs that might be offered at the facility in the future. These rooms are intended to be flexible in use and are divided with an operable partition. When that wall is closed, you get 2 smaller rooms as shown in this plan. When the wall is open, those 2 rooms turn into one large space. Both rooms will have lots of storage, and similar to the fitness room, will be filled with light coming in from large windows and skylights above. And now I'll hand it over to Ryan, who will show you what the outside of the building is looking like.
Thank you, Adria. Good evening, everyone. My name is Ryan Drummond, project manager with Digsaw Architects. I'm a 5'10" white male. I have a mustache now. It used to be a beard. And because I have a very active 5-year-old son, my brown hair is rapidly turning gray. And I'm just going to speak a little bit with you about the exterior design of the revamped Carousel house. And the first thing we're looking at, actually go back that slide real quick. You can see an existing photograph of what the building is looking like today from the outside. And one thing to note there is the iconic metal screen that kind of wraps around the circle with a very unique geometric pattern kind of cut into it that we lovingly refer to as the pineapple screen. So you can go to the next slide. And some other aspects that we're considering and thinking about the exterior design of the new building is certainly the neighborhood that's around it. From the very building we're sitting in right now, the Police Touch Museum, formerly Memorial Hall of the Fairmount Park Centennial District, and the historic significance of this monument, Fairmount Park itself, the building being situated in the park, and then the Parkside Belmont neighborhoods to the south, which are really just kind of a block away from the Carousel House building. Oh, sorry. Go back real quick. A couple of comments I would receive, in earlier community meetings talking about the design was to keep it fun and inviting, make it look like part of the neighborhood, and to keep the outside looking like a carousel. So we've kept all those things in mind. In this slide, you can kind of see an example that we're drawing from some of the existing conditions for inspiration. The image in the top left includes the existing pole sculptures that are at the playground that is currently on site, and we're hoping to have reused as part of the new landscape and site design. In the center, again, you can see the metal screen around the existing circular building that we call the Pineapple and find very inspirational. And on the right, the existing sculpture of the Carousel horse that's right inside the entry of the current building that we're hoping to reuse in the new building as well. And on the bottom, you see just kind of a very quick conceptual diagram that kind of shows how we're inspired by the colors of the Carousel horse and the sculptures at the playground and the geometric patterns of the existing pineapple screen at the circular building. Next slide. And here's a brand new rendering showing the vision for the exterior design as you approach the building from the south at the main entry. So the late concrete band at the top or at the left there is the nice welcoming canopy at the main entry and the drop-off circle. And then you can see how we're carefully integrating that into the existing pineapple screen that's to remain around the circular building and making use of some of the colors we found inspirational from the Carousel horse into a new graphic color band around the lower portions of the exterior wall around the entirety of the exterior of the building. So that's just a little taste of what the exterior design will look at. And I think we're going to switch over to the site and landscape design. So welcome Ground Reconsidered. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I am Julie Bush. I use she, her pronouns. I am a short, white female with brown hair and glasses. And I am excited to be here. Okay, so the first image is showing an aerial of the existing site. It is highlighting the farm, which is on the left side of the aerial on Belmont Avenue. The existing parking is on the east or right side of the plan highlighted in blue. And the playground is off of South Concourse Drive. The proposed outdoor areas, it keeps the parking pretty much in the same area. It moves the playground closer to the building. And there is a car and van drop off on the south side of the building, closer to South Concourse Drive. And then there's another loading bus drop off and pick up on the north side of the building off of Avenue of the Republic. Next slide. So this just shows that in a little bit more detail, where buses can stop and drop off and pick up along that area on Avenue of the Republic and go into the entrance on that side of the building. Cars can come in through Avenue of the Republic, through the parking lot, drop off. Cars or vans can fit around the circle at the main entrance on the south side of the building and drop off there. And right now we have traffic going one way from the Avenue of the Republic to South Concourse Drive. We had heard in some earlier meetings that there was concern that people, if there was a lot of traffic on Belmont, people might want to cut through the parking. So we were trying to prevent people from just driving through really fast. The parking lot has a total of 59 spaces. 26 of those spaces will be ADA accessible. That includes both van parking and car parking, accessible parking. 17 of those 26 spaces will be labeled as ADA parking. And the idea there is that if there is an event, and it'll allow for flexibility for people to park where they want to. Existing trees on the site, there are a lot of really large, beautiful trees on the site. And we did have an arborist look at it and do a health assessment for the trees. We are removing some that are in poor condition. We are keeping a lot of those really large, beautiful trees. And we're working hard to do that. Then we're also adding a lot of new shade trees. That's shown in the plan with the darker green circle. They're along Belmont Avenue and along Avenue of the Republic. And then there's some throughout the site to offer shade at the playground and some other locations. We're also hoping to add some ornamental trees. So that would be small flowering trees, just to add some color and some beauty to the site. Next slide. The outdoor furniture, we are proposing picnic tables. There's also an option to have game tables, and in the breakout session, we'd like to talk to you about what you would prefer or if you want both. We will have backed benches throughout the site, bike racks, and trash receptacles. All of the furniture is the Parks and Rec standard, which will help with maintenance over time. So it's easy to maintain, easy to replace if something happens to it. Next slide. So Ryan already mentioned the carousel poles. There's existing poles around the playground that we want to reuse. So we're proposing to locate them around that entry circle, the traffic loop at the front area, and reuse those to signify, you've arrived at Carousel House. Next slide. So tonight we actually have 2 playground options, and we'd like to hear feedback on both of them, what you prefer, or if we're missing something. So you have a lot of, in the breakout session, we'd like to hear a lot of feedback from you. So both playgrounds are universally designed to address all levels of ability. It goes beyond the minimum accessibility requirements to create play spaces that meet a variety of needs and interests. So I'm going to talk about both options first together before we go back to the plan, please. Okay, so both of the options are surrounded by a fence. There will be a gate from the parking area and a gate from the building entrance into this fenced area. Both options are separated into an older and a younger play area. Both options will have that cushiony rubber safety surface under the play equipment. Both options also have an identifiable path around the outside of the play equipment area, but inside the fence. And that allows children to walk around the outside, observe all of the action on the inside of the playground before they decide where they want to engage or if they want to engage. Okay, and go to the next slide. So this equipment on this slide is in both playground options. Both options have swings. There's a different amount of swings. Option A has 8 swings. Option B has 6 swings. Both options have this fence activity. So again, it allows children to play along the fence on the outer area before they transition to the more active areas. Both options have the Serenity spot. It is a fort-like environment with calming activities along the side panels. And it's for those that become overwhelmed or overstimulated. They can go there and seek comfort. Both options will have communication boards. So those would be good for nonverbal children to communicate feelings or ask questions with other players on the playground. Both options would have the spinner that is shown in the lower left-hand image of the slide. It is not a fast spinner. It is actually very slow, and it is similar to the Serenity spot in that it offers a soothing place that children can seek comfort and kind of regroup before they join the activity again. Both options offer a rocker where children of all abilities can access it. And it encourages teamwork and collaboration because a lot of kids, the more it rocks. And both options offer the roller table. So there is a transfer platform for wheelchairs. It benefits upper body strength and motor skills. And it also is beneficial for children with cochlear implants. They can enjoy it as well. And so if we go to the next slide, option A, the unique equipment. So I will say the big differences between option A and option B. Option A has more swings, but smaller equipment, but more of the smaller equipment. And then option B has larger equipment, but 6 instead of 8 swings. So in option A, it's the smaller equipment. So the play structure has, for the younger play, has a little slide, some climbing, and a tunnel. The play structure for the older play is rope climbing, and it has an accessible bridge that goes through the structure. There's a dome that you can climb on top of and into. There's musical instruments. There's slides that would be on a mound, a safety surface mound. And there's a spinner that has 4 seats that face outward where wheelchair can transfer easily. And then 4 seats that face inward where if a child needs more stability, they can be placed in there and feel more stable when it is going in around. Option B. So this is the one that has the larger equipment. It does have the inclusive merry-go-round, so a wheelchair can glide onto that. This play structure for the younger play in the upper left hand, it has ramps, it has communication panels and play panels around the ground. It has climbing events on 3 sides. It has a taller slide than what was shown in the previous image, and it has some imagination play at the base of it. So it's hard because we're showing one angle of this, but it has a lot happening on all sides. For the play structure for the older play, there's also ramps to get to the various platforms. There's a really tall slide. There is a glider that fits 7 children, including wheelchairs. And again, the more children are on there, the more it glides back and forth. And it also has panels and imagination play and climbing. And so once again, the 2 playground options, and in the breakout sessions, we're hoping to hear feedback on both options, what you like, what you don't like, it's okay. And if you were missing anything. That's it. I'm not sure who's next.
Hi, everybody. I'm Paige Phillips. I use she, her pronouns. I am a white woman. I have short brown hair and I'm wearing a bright green shirt. So I am here from Creative Philadelphia, our city's Office of Arts and Culture. Do you want to go to the next slide? And I'm here to talk to you today about Percent for Art. This has been around since 1959. We were the first city to establish Percent for Art. So basically, anytime a city-owned property has construction or renovation, if that budget is over $1 million, we designate 1% of that budget for new artwork. So that's what's happening at Carousel House. So I'm very excited that in addition to all of the amazing things you have heard about, that we will also be bringing a new artwork to Carousel House. And we've already been talking to people about it. We approached the community with about 6 or 7 options of what type of artwork could come to the facility. And we've narrowed it down to 2 options. The first would be a tactile wall piece inside the atrium. So as soon as you walk in and you look to the left, there would be a big wall. And this would be something that you could not only see, but that you could touch and have a lot of different textures. And then the other option would be outdoor. It's an outdoor sensory-friendly sculptures. So imagine 3 or 4 sculptures that you could go up and feel. And for those, we might even be able to incorporate things that make sound. So I'm going to be sitting right over there, and I would love for you to come up and give me your feedback because we have to decide between these 2 options. Thank you.
Good evening, folks. My name is Marangeli Mejia Rabel. Friends call me, you can call me Maggie. It's time to talk about next steps. Thank you so much for being with us. I am a Puerto Rican woman with brown hair, shoulder length, big glasses, and one would say I'm more on the round side. In terms of next steps, let's talk about that. So please ask friends to sign up for the Carousel House Rebuild newsletter. There's going to be a link for those of you that are joining via Zoom. The link will be on the chat. I'm going to slow down. I'm a fast talker. And check out the project website at carouselhouserebuild.org. Check your mail for your email for a recording of this meeting, and stay tuned for information about the final design share out and celebration. The next thing and this is also on your screen, stay in touch. You have the contact information for members of the Rebuild team and also the Community Capacity Builders team. And now we're going to go in terms of our next steps for the evening. We're going to have a very brief Q&A. I'm going to take 2 questions. And if by any chance we don't have answers for your questions right now, we will make sure to get them to you as part of the follow-up. And then you're going to go into the different design stations, which we're going to have around 25 to 30 minutes with. All right. So I'm going to take 2 questions from the audience. Who has a question? Be with you. Sorry, you're not going to see me. This one. How you doing, miss?
Hi, my name is Lucinda Hudson. I'm the president of the Parkside Association located in West Parkside. I want to ask, will the garden still be there with the new building? The farm, the Carousel Farm.
Oh. So there's some.
Susan.
I am Susan Slauson again. And the farm will be moved to another location. It will still be in this community. It will be easily accessed by the community, but it will not be right there at the Carousel House. Thank you. Tess just gave me a flyer to read. I appreciate it. Carousel House Farms closing party. Come join us in celebrating our season and time spent in our current space. Giveaways, entertainment, kids' activities, food. That is this Saturday, October the 25th, from 10 a.m. until 1 p.m. 4300 Avenue of the Republic, southeast corner of Belmont Avenue of the Republic.
Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Okay, we have room for one more.
Hi, my name is Faye Carter, and I live in East Parkside. I wanted to ask about the pool. Is the pool an indoor pool?
Thank you for your question. There you go.
I'm Aparna Palantino again, and thank you for your question, Ms. Faye. There will actually be 2 separate pools. There's a lap pool as well as a 0 entry pool, and both of those are indoors. You're welcome.
Thank you so very.
One more.
Okay. I'm gonna be a softie. Absolutely. Go ahead.
I'm Jackie Green of the East Parkside and a member of East Parkside Residents Association. It's so funny. I'm sorry. I want to know if there'll be night lighting because it looks like it's going to be a very beautiful building, and there are buses that come up and down that location. There's a bus station there, so I wanted to make sure that with the lighting in that area so people can, get careful.
Thank you so very much. All right, let's go here.
This is Aparna Palantino again. So I do want to assure you there will be lighting around the site. We've been working carefully to not only provide site lighting, but also security cameras to ensure a safe space outside. And
I just want to steal the microphone to make a more formal introduction to Karen Breitmeyer, who's an important member of our team. She is a national, even international expert and thought leader on accessible and universal design. And she's joined us all the way from Seattle tonight and for a work session in our office tomorrow. And so I just want to invite you all into conversation with Karen because she's a special guest and a really important part of our team.
Thank you so much, everyone. So it is time to move into the station. No, we're still about to. All right, we are now moving to the design stations. I will ask you to take the time to visit the ones that are of more interest. You have gym and pool and overall plan. You have, I'm so sorry. Let me move, okay. Other indoor spaces, then you have outdoor spaces, accessibility, right? And then you have Person for Art and Parks and Rec. Thank you so much. We want to make sure that you take advantage and connect with members of the design team and stay tuned for updates. And if there are any additional questions or any comments, please make sure to do the survey. Thank you so very much.